Okay, so for those of you that just joined, again, we're going to go over the API forms today, and then also the invoice templates. API forms are something you can put on your website for reservations or payments. Client will fill those out. When they submit that, it'll go directly and securely into your Vacation CRM account. It'll show up in your agent reminders here. You can see this demo one has a lot of web reservation requests. And it will fill out all of the information that's in the form into a profile for them. So names, dates of birth, credit card information, everything in there. You don't have to add any of that. It goes directly from the form. So if you haven't done it yet, a couple agencies I know have already implemented the forms. This is what it's going to look like. So there's different steps that they will fill out. They'll select their agent, where they heard of you from, how many passengers. Then step 2 would be, contact information. Fill that out. And I filled all this out a little ahead of time just so I can click submit and show you. There should be a button to mute yourself. I don't want to mute everyone in case there is a question. You should have a little control panel like this, similar to this, but it'll be your own, and there's usually a mute button on there, or a microphone picture. Okay, so once they fill all of this stuff out at the bottom, they will have to fill out the electronic signature saying, they authorize any charges. Then they click submit. And they will get a message that it says it was successful. So once they do that, you will get a message on your dashboard, on your agent reminders. You can see there was a request right here. And if I look at the profile, it fills everything out for you, including credit card information. And it will add that as a trip, as a initial contact and a web reservation request. If you click on that, you can see everything, all the details, special requests that they typed in the bottom section, whether they want insurance or not, airfare, all that stuff. So in order for you to add those to your website, if you go to your system settings, and system settings again, you will see these links here. So this is for the registration form, the reservation form. This is for the payment form. So if you have somebody that does your website design, they'll know what to do with that. They will embed that into your website, and your link will be a unique link to your Vacation CRM account. So it's secure. It's from point A to point B. It's never going to go to the wrong agency's account as long as you just use this in here, your own unique code. So does anyone have any questions about the API forms at this time? Okay. I don't know for sure, but I can get back to you on that. Send me an email after the meeting, just Stephen, S-T-E-P-H-E-N, at vacationcrm.com, and I can check into that. I don't do much with web development at all, so I'm not the best person to ask, but I can definitely find out for you. Any other questions on that? Yep. Yeah, if you have one Vacation CRM account with multiple users, you would just have the one form. And see here, it says who's your travel agent. There's a drop down. Yes. Yeah. So, and if you have access to all of them, you will be able to see on the dashboard. You can look and see, you know, because sometimes people might click the wrong agent. So you may have to look in there and see who they selected and then reassign that profile to the correct agent. Does that make sense? Yes. I don't understand what you're asking. Which version of the system? Which account? Yeah, this would be for the Pro version, the $50 a month one. Yeah, that's the API is one of the features that adds. Okay. These forms are pre-built just to make agents' lives easier to get them on the website. You still have the option of having your own forms designed custom to your agency. So these are kind of generic to fit almost everyone's needs. Now you can see that this is optional, so it's not, none of this is required. This whole step is not required. So if that's something that you are not wanting from your clients, you can tell them that, or you can have your own form built that doesn't have payment information in there at all. Anybody else? Okay. So the invoice templates, this is really cool because before you had to have the terms and conditions kind of generic to fit any situation and any trip. Now you can really dial it in however you want. So just to make this easy, I'll just go to preview invoice. You can see right next to this you have your default one, which will be your main one. I just put another one in for the demo. So if I look at the default one, that will pull up, you know, say this is your standard one. In this one there's no footer in there, and just to show you the difference, I just put a footer in here with the address. So you can, you know, type in your agency address, all that. Now it lets you customize everything from basically from here down. The logo will stay the same on both or any sort of template. Like no matter how many templates you have, it has to have the same logo. However, this is the more important stuff that you may want to change for different types of trips. And with the new release, we also did add where you can just put text in here, and I'll show you that. So before the last release, if you wanted your agency address on there, you had to have it designed into a footer logo, and you just had to upload it here. But now you can type in whatever you want here at the bottom, and it will show up like the second version like this right here. So you don't have to worry about that. But like I said, most of the big reason for this is for different types of trips. You know, if you have different terms and conditions with different suppliers, you can customize it for, you know, one for EGT and one for TI, or the type of travel that you're doing, whether it be cruise or land or packages. You know, I'm sure you guys can figure out what fits your agency best, but there's a lot of different options there, so that's pretty cool. Any questions on that? Yes. Yeah, and it's not even a service that Vacation CRM offers. That would be if you have someone that designs your website. Somebody can do that. We have someone that has done a lot for us, so if you want to email me after the meeting, I can put you in touch with him. He doesn't work for Vacation CRM, but he did a couple agencies initially when we launched this, and so he's very familiar with the system and getting everything to work together, so he is a good resource to do to go to for that. Yeah, you mean you would, if you had multiple users but you only wanted one or two of them to have their name on the drop down? Yeah, I mean it's still going to show up as far as I know. I don't know of any way to like disable specific users. I don't think you can because it all ties into your account. But you can certainly have a custom form built. Yes. The invoices, that's with all versions. There's three main differences between the Lite and the Pro version, and they are the credit card storage to a profile, the API, which are the forms for your website, and you can push payments to suppliers with the Pro version. But other than that, you're going to have the same functionality with both versions. Any other questions on the invoices? No? Okay. Now we can move on. Does anyone have any questions on just general questions on the system? No? Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that here very soon, especially because we've done the new release with a lot of new features. I get it. Some of that stuff is outdated, and a lot of the features are missing from that. So I'm gonna do my best to get on that. I'm also going to start doing short little YouTube videos for each thing that you would need to do, like how to create a profile. That'll be one video that'll be 2 minutes long. Just to keep them short, so if you're looking for a specific answer, or you have a specific question you need answered, you can go to the YouTube page and look at the title of the video and find the one that fits you and just click on that. Because right now they're all 40 minutes to an hour long, and I understand you don't want to have to search through an hour-long video to find the answer to your one question. So I'm going to be working on that too. Some people have preference to watch the video, others might want to read the user guides, but I will work on getting both of those updated as soon as possible. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. How can you get your host to allow that? I would talk with Mitch about that. He's the one who has done a lot of that and gotten a lot of the hosts to integrate with our system. And he might even have a progress update for you on that. So you want to be able to push payment, go both ways. Download them and push payments too. Okay. Okay. Yeah, ask Mitch about that, or you can email me and I can talk with him and get back with you too. Either way. Anybody else? We're just doing general questions now. We went over the API forms and the invoice templates. Email me and I can give you a quick overview, or I'm going to upload this to YouTube as soon as it's finished. You can watch it on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of information in the reservation component, and a lot of it the client never needs to see, but it's good to have in there so you can reference it at a later date if they have a question and you need to reference it. But if there's something that you're running into where it's something you definitely think should be on the invoice and it's not showing up, for the time being you can put it as an invoice comment, but you can also email me and I'll look into having it turned on to where that will show up. I just did one earlier. I requested one for one of the cruise components that wasn't showing up, that will be in there now. I know that the return transfer time was never in there, because a lot of times you're going to set that up with your transfer company while you're in destination, you know, because there's no like set rule on what time. It depends on which airport it is. You know, like in Jamaica, if you're doing Club Mobe, you get there a lot earlier. So things like that, and I think that's the reason that's not in there, but I'll look into it for you. Okay. I will look into that for you. You're welcome. Anybody else? Yep. No. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. So let me. Are you talking about right here? Okay, and there's a reason behind that. So let's just say this is a package. Okay, so these are both formulas based on all of this stuff. So if I put, 500 here, and okay, so if I put all that stuff in there, this is adding up all of that stuff below. So it's a formula, so you can't just manually enter it. If you want the price in there, you have to put it on the reservation component somewhere. Does that make sense? And then the bottom one, so this one is the final. So that takes this plus or minus the reservation total adjustment. So if you want to give them a discount of $50, there it takes off that 50. So this is the final cost after all this stuff below is added up and this is either plus or minus. So yeah, just use this field if you want to do any like extra charges or discounts or anything like that, and it will adjust the total cost of the trip. Any other questions? I can just tell you, as of right now today, you can do it from Travel Impressions, Exclusive Group Travel, or Carnival. There are more that are in progress right now that aren't finalized yet, but those are the three that you could do right now today. Yep. As far as downloading the reservation, I personally don't know how Carnival does that, but I can find out for you. I just don't do a whole lot with cruises, personally, but I can find out. Have you pulled in any reservations from Travel Impressions or EGT? For a group, you mean? Okay. Um, yeah, for groups with TI, it's a little different because of the booking number. Um, and so I don't know, does Carnival have multiple booking numbers for groups? Okay. Email me after the meeting or now or whenever, and I will look into that for you, because I would assume it goes by the booking number for each trip and can pull it in, but I'm not 100% on that, but I will find out for you. Yeah, so I'll just make a profile real quick. Okay, so once you go to a client's profile, first you need to add a trip. Now we do the 2 steps. A lot of people ask, why is there trips and reservations? You can have multiple reservations within a trip, and I recommend keeping them separate for 1, for commission tracking purposes, and 2, because they're going to have different booking numbers, you know, if they're from different suppliers. So, you know, you name your trip whatever you want. And then you'll save that. And then you add a reservation, and this is where you're going to pull it in. So usually it's going to be packaged, and you know, pick your supplier. So let's say it's TI. Now you'll see, once you type this in, you know, if that was a real booking number, all you do is just click on this and it will pull it in. I don't have a Travel Impressions booking number handy right now to pull one in, but if this were a valid booking number, you could just, actually, yes, I probably do. So you'll just click Update Reservation from Supplier. Oh, I can't do it because I'm on the demo account, I'm sorry. But if you're on your own account and it's linked with your IATA or your Travel Impressions login, it's going to cross-reference that with this booking number, and it's going to pull it in. And it'll put all the details here, much like if you just have select package. Yes. Do you understand why it is that way? Okay. So say you are piecing stuff together from multiple suppliers, like you know, if let's say Jamaica, if you book it with TI, but you want to use, say, Reggae Tours for the transportation, you would put the Travel Impressions booking as one reservation within that trip, and then the Reggae Tours booking as another one. And that way, you know, you can keep it separate with different booking numbers for commission purposes, because the commission is under the reservation. So let's say this booking, you know, TI is $500, but say you're getting $25 from Reggae Tours, you would want to track that on the other reservation under that same trip, so you can see, okay, I've got $500 from here, $25 from that reservation, and then when they get paid, because they're not going to get paid at the same time necessarily, you can show that, okay, this was paid on the 23rd, but then you can look at the other reservation and see that it has not been paid out yet. Does that make sense? Right. Yeah, just for groups, I don't know. Right, and I'll find out for you, but it's not a matter of our system, it's a matter of how they handle groups on their system. But I can get you an answer. Just email me, and I'll find out for you. Yep. It stores it. If you want to store it on your computer, you're welcome to. I don't anymore. It stores it onto the system server, like into our system, so it'll be in your account. So if you click, okay, so I just generated this one that has nothing on it, but that's alright. Now if yours, say you want to find you've already generated it and you just go into the client's profile and you want to see their invoice. click, right. So go to their trip, and under the trip you'll see trip invoices. Now this is a demo account, but normally you will have a little email icon right here, and you can click that and it'll automatically open your email, whatever email program you use, with a pre-typed up message and a link that they can click on that will take them directly to their invoice. So, for me personally, whenever I make any sort of payment, the client makes a payment, I always generate a new invoice and I send them an updated version. So at any given time, they know exactly how much they owe, what their balance is, how much they've paid, how many payments they've made, the dates of the payments. They know all of that information, and it's always up to date. No? Have you run into that? Okay. Was there just an error, or what? Okay. Well, as soon as you click the email icon, you can click. Well, when you generate it, it's going to open in Adobe, so you can save it as a PDF there. Right. The problem with that is it's a mail to link, and mail to links aren't that advanced, as in, like, adding attachments. Like, you'll notice a lot, even if you do that, it's going to come up as plain text. So many, like, fonts that you have different, things like that aren't necessarily going to show up in your email. Well, that's exactly why it comes in a form of a link, to save you time. I would say that there's going to be cases where you will have to do it that way, but I would keep using the link form. Like, just send them the link, because this is the first I've heard of it. of that issue. So I think it's very few clients that you deal with that are going to have problems opening that link. And if you want to test it yourself, when you hit the email button, you can click on that link in your own email before you send it, and it should open it up for you. Mm-hmm. Well, you can add fields all over the system. The problem is I don't know if that new field will pull into the report, because the report was designed for what you currently see here on the screen, and I don't think it'll pull it in if you add that. So for now, I would say just keep doing it in the comments section. Yes, they used to, when we submitted the forms that everyone filled out to them to integrate, I believe the first thing they used to search for your Carnival account is by phone number. So the biggest issue I've seen with companies that it doesn't work is they gave us on the form a different phone number than they registered with Carnival. If you do get that, just email help@vacationcrm.com with your either the phone number you used if you know it was different, or your Carnival login ID, and we'll forward it to them and get it working for you. Any other questions? Well, it depends on where you're wanting to add fields. Like if you're doing it from, like if you want to add something to the profile screen, that's not going to tie into many reports. I think there's 2 that it would tie into, but a lot of agencies have added stuff in here or in the preferences. And you can also hide some of this stuff. Be careful when you're hiding things that you think you won't use, because I've seen a lot of agencies that will hide stuff that you need, like trip date, things like that. And then you run into issues because reports aren't showing up right, stuff's showing up wrong on your dashboard because you hit a field that you need. But yeah, you can certainly customize it to add whatever you want. Sure. So let's say you want to add something under preferences. You can scroll all the way down, or you can just say I'm only looking at preferences, and then you'll click add new field. Look at what you have here. So it'll be on the you can select which screen it's on, so in this case it'll be the profile. Let's do a drop down, because drop downs require drop downs and multi-select will require 2 steps, not just one. So this is one I added. I showed someone how to add at one point. Now this is your options of what kind of field you want it to be, text box drop down. So let's do drop down for this one. You want it in the section of preferences. Now position, that's where it's going to show up within the preferences section. So we'll just say 1 for right now. And then again, make sure it's checked display. If you want it on the quick profile form, you can say that, but in this case you wouldn't want to do that. So there you can see it. Now if I were to go to the profile and click the drop down, there's not going to be anything under it right now. So you need to add the codes to that. So, aircraft seating, let's see. So each code you add is going to be a new item in that drop down. So you'll have to do this. So I'll just stick with those for now. So now if I go to someone's profile, it's right here. So since I selected position 1, it's at the top. So those are the 2 codes I added. Now if you're doing like just a text box, you don't have to do that whole second step of adding codes, because it's just putting a blank like this where you can type in whatever you want. Any other questions? Yes, absolutely. You know, I'm going to start trying to get scheduled ones ahead of time and different topics on each one. Maybe sometimes we'll just do general questions. Other times we'll do, you know, more focused on specific topics. But yeah, we will. Which type of forms? I don't know. I can find out for you though and see what everyone else is using, because there's a lot of different options out there. I don't know that, you know, I'm sure some are better than others, but you know, I can get that information for you. And that's only if you don't want to use the ones that you have that come with the system. They are in your system settings. Yeah, right here. Okay, you just go to System Settings and then click System Settings again, and it'll say Registration Form Link and Payment Form Link. Do you have the light version? You know, you click System Settings. And then towards the bottom you should see Registration Form Link. Yeah, that's the registration form one, and the other one's the payment link. You would have those designed into your website, and it will create a form. You can't see it, but it'll create a form for your website that'll integrate with your Vacation CRM account. No, you just have to have somebody that knows how to build a website to put them on there. We've provided you with the forms already. You just need to copy and paste that code that's in there into an iframe on your website to have it put on there. I'm sorry, what? I doubt it. Okay. Yeah, you'll just have to talk with them and see if that's a tab that you can put on the website to allow that or not. Sure. Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's a secure form, so you have a unique key for your account. So, and that link is part of that code in that link is your key. So when it submits to that, it's only going to submit to the account that's attached with that key, which is yours. Per agency. That changes for your entire agency. However, now that we have multiple invoice templates, if you have multiple users using, if you have a 5-user plan, you could create invoices. Each user could create their own invoices, or an admin could create them for them, and you can name it. If you look here, when you add it, you put whatever name. So you could put agent name Europe invoice, or you could do agent name cruise invoice. And then when they go to generate the invoice, to the right of the generate button, there's a drop down menu where they will select which template they want to generate it in. Yeah. Are you seeing my screen? Okay, so this is that's all you have to do. You go to invoice settings and then add new invoice template, and if I didn't want any of this, I could delete all of this out and start fresh, clean, name it whatever I want, and then I could save that. Well, the usage of the system is not any different. The only difference you get with the Pro is you get credit card storage. You can submit payment to suppliers, and you can do this API forms. Other than that, like making a reservation, building a profile, the everyday use is the exact same. There's just a few features it doesn't have. Okay, so why are you saying it's taking more time? Well, like when you mentioned like the agent's commission, you set that up for each user what their commission split is. So, you know, for even numbers, let's say it's 50-50, when you import a reservation or you put the total commission of $200, it's going to automatically figure out that the agent commission is $100. Well, I mean, there's no option for commission for, like, if I add a new user, you put their commission percentage right here. Yeah, so these are users or agents. Now, if you have a client database, like you were talking about adding those in, if you have that in a spreadsheet, you can send that to us and we will automatically import it for you, so you don't have to manually do any of that. It's usually pretty quick. I would say 48 hours max, typically. But it must be in a single spreadsheet. Yeah. Yeah, because the light version, that's exactly how it's designed. If you have multiple users, it wouldn't even make sense to do the light version because it's $25 per user. If you're doing the pro version, it's $50 for one user, $10 for every user on top of that. But when you reach a certain point, there's packages you can get, like you can get 10 users for $100. So if you had 6 users, it would make sense to just do the 10 user package. I would, if you have stuff that you want multiple agents in there for, you definitely want the pro version, because the light version is designed for a single user to manage clients, not to manage other agents. You're welcome. Sure. As far as security goes, I don't want to say yes or no. I mean, I know you can do it because I've copied and pasted that link just to open it up, just to look at the form. But I don't know if that's any less secure or not. Any other questions? Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, well, if you guys have any questions or think of anything, you can email help at Vacation CRM, or you can also email me. Again, my email is Stephen, S-T-E-P-H-E-N, at vacationcrm.com, and we'll be glad to help you out, okay? Thank you.